Lawrence will never see again. Emma Baker, Anglia News, Northamptonshire.
A team of external advisors is being brought in to improve maternity services at Milton Keynes Hospital. The decision follows recent criticism over the deaths of 2 babies there. At one inquest, the coroner blamed systematic failures and a shortage of midwives. The hospital says it welcomes the decision and that the quality of care is of paramount importance.
If any woman out there is feeling anxious or worried, or her family or her partner, please contact us. Contact their community midwife, contact us directly. Come and talk to us, tell us what your concerns are, tell us what your fears are, and let's work with you because we want you to feel safe.
Now, for 14 years, Tesco has been fighting to build a store in the seaside town of Sheringham in Norfolk. And today, the company had yet another planning application thrown out.
To add insult to injury, councillors have approved a bid with rival Waitrose, who claim it would be Britain's greenest supermarket. Here's Natalie Gray.
Supermarkets are famous for their buy one, get one frees or bog-offs. And that seems to be the message to Tesco today. For 14 years, Britain's biggest supermarket chain has fought to build a store in Sheringham. And once again, it's been told no. Who'd have thought Tesco's would have been beaten in Sheringham by another supermarket?
Well, the game isn't over yet. I mean, there's a lot of advice still to come. As I say, I think that the council officers are clearly concerned that this is a shaky decision, and there's more still to come.
Instead, councillors have approved a rival proposal, subject to legal advice, for an environmentally friendly food store championed by a local farmer and backed by Waitrose. The supermarket would supply locally sourced food combined with a food academy, as well as 200 free allotments.
I think what it does say is that this community wants to do something different, and that maybe Tesco should get the message that they're not welcome here and they should move on somewhere else.
15-year-old Sheringham High pupil Hope Worsdale helped sway opinion with a 3-minute speech to a packed committee room.
I think people have finally started realising that we have to have new models of retailing, and this greenhouse project is going to be great for the whole community and for the future of Sheringham and the planet as a whole.
Sheringham High Street is stuffed full of independent shops and businesses, and the hope is that they will now be preserved. Eroica Mildmay, a former model turned novelist, represents Scamrod, the Sheringham campaign against major retail overdevelopment.
But I think basically that it's the right decision. Sheringham's been put up an incredibly robust campaign to keep its character. It fears what Tesco will do, what it's done to many, many other towns all over Britain.
Tesco has come a long way since it opened its first store in 1956. It now has 1,770. But it doesn't look like it'll be adding Sheringham to its portfolio, which incidentally would have been about the same size as this store in Elsham. Natalie Gray, Anglia News, North Norfolk.
We're bound to get a few emails about that. We always get emails about that.
Yeah, we do. I wonder if it's the end. I doubt it somehow. Right, it's almost coming up to 16 minutes past 6. Do stay with us this Thursday evening.
Still to come tonight, a mouth-watering subject. How do you like yours?
Well, more news now from your part of the region, and the body of a soldier from Bury St Edmunds who was killed in Afghanistan has been flown home. Senior aircraftman Luke Southgate of 2 Squadron RAF Regiment was killed by a roadside bomb while on patrol near Kandahar airfield last Wednesday. Hundreds lined the streets of Wootton Bassett in Wiltshire to mark his return and that of 3 other soldiers who were also repatriated today.
An 18-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after a man was stabbed in Suffolk. Paramedics were called to a house on Stowe Road in Ixworth just after 6 o'clock last night. A 41-year-old man is being treated at Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge. His injuries are described as life-threatening.
Norfolk police have rearrested a 27-year-old man on suspicion of murdering Stephen Murphy at his home in Fakenham in January. The suspect was first arrested after flying into Heathrow on Friday, but later released. Another man has been released on police bail.
One of the region's biggest annual literary events got underway today, the month-long Essex Book Festival.
All through March, some of Britain's most successful writers will turn up to talk about their work. Booker Prize-winning author Penelope Lively got things underway, as Tom Barton now reports.
Chelmsford Library couldn't have been less like, well, a library today. Dozens of people were gathered round, none of them talking quietly. It was the venue for the launch of the Essex Book Festival, a month-long celebration of writers and reading, featuring talks from many famous authors, including some, like Francis Wheen, who live in the county.
People who've never been to Essex tend to have quite a strange idea of what Essex is like, that it's sort of this barely civilised place where many of us still wear woad on our faces and certainly no one can read. I mean, the idea of might read books is incredible because we're far too busy souping up cortinas or whatever it is we're meant to be doing. And so I think it's good from that point of view to actually draw people's attention to the fact that Essex is probably the most literary county in Britain. It has more reading groups than anywhere else. It has 2 of the top libraries in Britain.
The star appearance at the festival's launch day was Booker Prize-winning author Penelope Lively. Throughout the festival, writers as diverse as former Poet Laureate Andrew Motion and former spin doctor Alistair Campbell will be making appearances.
Although they're public events, there's a kind of intimacy about them that I think is wonderful. I mean, certainly as a writer, I love meeting readers. I love hearing their comments, their criticisms, their questions. And I also realise that if I wasn't going to them as a writer, I'm just the sort of person, I'm just as much a reader as I am a writer. I'm the sort of person who would have been going to them as a punter. I only wish they'd been around when I was much younger.
Festival events will be running at libraries throughout Essex until the end of March. Organisers hope it will inspire more people throughout the county to curl up with a good book. Tom Barton, Anglia News, Chelmsford.
Sounds like a nice idea. 18 months ago, Elena Baltacha seriously considered quitting tennis. Today, she's close to breaking into the world's top 50.
The daughter of the former Ipswich footballer Sergei Baltacha is now ranked 64th in the world, a career high, after a dramatic return to form and fitness. Donovan Blake has more.
Fitter, stronger, faster, highly motivated. It's the mission statement which has helped Elena Baltacha reach new heights in women's tennis. Baltacha is back in Ipswich, 20 years after first arriving with her family, following Dad Sergei's move to Ipswich town in 1989.
We lived here for about 18 months and then my dad got transferred to St Johnstone up in Glasgow. It's really nice because I remember a lot of the people from, when I was young, when we first arrived, and it's lovely to be back.
Her love of tennis started here and was developed while living in Scotland. But the promise Baltacha showed as a young professional was smothered, first by illness, an ongoing liver condition, and then by injuries. They almost forced her to quit.
Maybe about 18 months ago, I was just really at my lowest. It was kind of like I felt like I was banging my head against the wall. Then I actually changed coaches. I met Nina Severino. We started working together, and ever since then everything's been going absolutely fantastic. I really do have to thank him, because if it wasn't for him I actually would have stopped, and he persuaded me to carry on. He really believed in me, and he thought that I had a lot of talent, and I'm really glad he did that.
I suppose in a way a meeting which changed your life.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, I think it's probably changed both our lives. It's so good to work with an athlete of Elena's quality. I'm so pleased for her. British #1 now, a true WTA player, playing the big players of the world. That's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I think it's definitely been a life-changing experience for both of us.
Last year she broke into the women's world top 100, completing a season without a major injury for the first time in her career. Her progress since then has been eye-catching. Baltacha's world ranking rose from 83rd to 70th after reaching the third round of the Australian Open, the furthest she'd gone in a Grand Slam event for 5 years. And performances at recent tournaments in the United States, including victory in the ITF Midland event in Michigan, have helped Baltacha reach her highest ever ranking. With the world's top 50 in sight, Baltacha believes there's more to come.
I really do believe I can be top 50, and then obviously just, the sky's the limit, just to keep going, keep working hard and keep kind of climbing up those rankings, and you never know what can happen.
And what about Baltacha's dad, mum Olga, and her brother Sergei Jr.?
Well, my dad, he's a director of a football academy. It's based in Chelsea. And my brother, he's actually doing the complete opposite. He's not involved in football anymore. He owns a convenience store in Shawlands in Glasgow. So.
And dare we ask what your mum's doing as well?
Yeah, my mum's actually living in Glasgow now. She's kind of doing bits here and there, and she seems to be very happy, and she's got a good life up there, so I'm really happy for her as well.
That happiness is definitely showing in Baltacha's tennis. She's determined to enjoy it for as long as she can. Donovan Blake, Anglia News, Ipswich.